dressed in smoke and fire. Jenea Bornet leaned back in her cathedra and tried to relax, but it was not easy. Everything was going exactly as she'd planned, but sadly the official seat of the merchant prince of House Bornet was designed to make the sitter look regal and intimidating, not comfortable. Still, nothing great without suffering, as the marchers said, she thought. Well, they probably didn't. They probably said something about potatoes, but the principle was the same. If you wanted to achieve something extraordinary, there was a price to be paid. And now, that price was the stubborn pain she could feel growing in her back and shoulders. The pain was important, though. Another reminder that she was not as young as she'd once been. To be fair, she and Solomon were both getting on a bit. The Aksu had been astray when she'd taken him in, just like she'd been all those years ago when House Bornet had taken her in. Now, if she died before him, he'd be the richest cat in Savos. Such as the thought of the caterwauling her grasping family would make when the will was read out gave her constant comfort. The grim reality was he just might make another summer, but 2 was probably out of the question. No. Amusing as it would be to leave everything to the cat, creating a legacy was a much better plan. With Savos becoming the city of masks, it would exemplify style, elegance, and sophistication. When artists and their wealthy patrons around the world thought of couture, they would think of Savos. Giving up her network would be painful, but if it helped secure Savos' position as the greatest city in the world, then it would all be worth it. She reached forwards, gently scooped Solomon up, and put the old cat down in her lap so she could stroke him. It didn't ease the pain in her shoulders, but it did wonders for the pain in her heart. A few more minutes, and she would be ready to receive the mirrored machiere. She'd been told they had some rather wonderful ideas for a masquerade, and Jenea was very much looking forward to hearing them. Overview. Savos has become the city of masks. At the summer solstice 383 year of the Empire, the Hag Queen cursed Savos, shattering every mirror in the jeweled city. The curse did more than just shatter the city's mirrors. It tore the soul of the city, shredding its identity. What is the city of mirrors without any mirrors? Some feared that the city was doomed. Superstition has long held that if the mirrors were shattered, then the city would surely fall. However, the greatest city in the world is not so easily destroyed, and the people of Savos were soon to work developing bold ideas to renew the city's identity and purpose. Support quickly coalesced around the ideas presented by House Bornet for Savos to become the city of masks. After a short delay, the League National Assembly endorsed the mandate urging Savosans to embrace their new identity with greater majority. Now Savos has become the city of masks. The doom that threatened the city is gone, and the Hag Queen has lost. She destroyed the mirrors, hoping to mar the city's beauty. In its place, the city is fast gaining a new reputation as a place of elegance and refinement, renowned for exquisite couture and high fashion, and famed for the grace and style of the people who live there. The city has always seen many visitors from foreign lands. Only Sorok does more trade with far-flung lands. As the city of masks, it is fast being talked about as the most elegant and sophisticated city in the known world. The Docks. The title of Mayor of Karakomare has been transformed. The doom hovering over the city have played a role in the fires that recently tore through the rebuilt docks at Karakomare. Admittedly, the more cynical Savosan might attribute the fires to the blatant corruption of the Carta do Incendio, but what is not in doubt is that the fires have ravaged an important area of the city that was only recently renovated. The occupants of Karakomare are soon hard at work rebuilding the dock front. The burned out warehouses, shops, and businesses are torn down, and elegant new buildings are being constructed to replace them. But as the ash settles, it becomes clear that something has changed in Carakamare. Ever since the restoration of this part of the city, the mayor of Carakamare has enjoyed powerful support from local businesses, providing them with a small income and a number of votes to be wielded in the election of the senator of Savos. The position has always constitutionally been flawed, with the court openly expressing regret that they did not strike it down at the time. That is now largely moot, since the source of the income is gone, and with it, the support from local businesses that the title garnered from them. As a result, the civil service confirmed that the mayor of Carakamare will no longer receive an income from the docks. That will go to those who are paying to replace the burned buildings. Nor will they receive any additional votes in senatorial elections, as local businesses are no longer prepared to pass their votes to the mayor. However, the proud inhabitants of Carakamare are determined that the position of mayor of Carakamare should continue to be treated with the respect the title deserves. To that end, they have made suitable arrangements to enable the mayor to benefit from the large volumes of trade that pass through the rebuilt docks. As a result, the mayor can now use their title to acquire a range of valuable goods if they consider the prices worthwhile. The decision made by the inhabitants of Carakamare has fundamentally changed the powers of their mayor. As a result, the Constitutional Court have ruled that it will no longer be constitutionally possible for the Senator of Savos to appoint the title by themselves, as was formerly the practice. That option was the only way that the title could be appointed since it granted votes in the Savosan senatorial elections. Now that is no longer the case, the closest legal equivalent method would be for the title to be a national position appointed by the Senate, meaning it could be elected by unanimous decision of League senators. The restriction that the title could only be held by a resident of Savos was likewise removed. The court has updated the published guidance for the title, which fortuitously comes due for election at the forthcoming summit. The masks. Magic has settled on many of the masks of Savos, infusing them with peculiar auras. Masks have always been important in the League. They are a powerful hearth magic, and it is well known that theatrical masks in particular can take on a personality of their own. According to the most salacious gossip, some of the oldest theatrical masks have to be kept under lock and key, since they have grown so powerful they could easily overwhelm any actor foolish enough to don one. As the spring equinox sees Savos growing into its new role as the city of masks, word soon spreads that the embrace of masks has had an unexpected consequence. Something has happened to the masks of Savos. Some powerful magic has settled on them, infusing them with odd auras that influence those who wear them in unexpected ways. Not all the masks are affected, of course, perhaps no more than 100 in all, but enough that it causes quite a storm of interest. Some of the masks are treasured family heirlooms, beautiful handmade pieces, each one a work of art in its own right. Several of them are night masks, the mirror masks first proposed by Genea Bornet. But some of them are simple things, a child's disguise or a cheap doctor's mask. Since this is Savos, the masks are soon changing hands for a healthy sum, as those who have been fortunate enough to discover one in their house cash in on their windfall. Possession of one of these curious masks is soon a must-have item for any well-to-do Savosan. Masks in packs. All Savosans, that is, League characters with a resource in Savos, who are pre-booked for the next event will receive a ribbon for a magical mask in their pack. The mask has no beneficial abilities, but it does have an aura that will exert an influence on whoever wears it. In all cases, the aura on the mask is new, but the mask itself could be a prized heirloom that has been in your family for generations, or it could be something with a dubious history that you recently acquired from a mountebank who cared for more of a quick sale than a high price. You might want to hang on to your mask, or you might want to take the opportunity presented by the summit at Anvil to get the best price you can for it. If you don't want your character to own or have acquired one of the magical masks, you can simply cut up the ribbon to reflect that. The Masquerade. A celebratory masked ball is proposed for the summer solstice. To celebrate the transformation of Savos and the triumph of the entire league over the spiteful Hag Queen, the Contessa and the Harlequin asked the new mirrored Machieri to plan a festival. The hope is that all the League will come together to celebrate this accomplishment, and the plan is to hold some kind of masquerade at the forthcoming summer solstice, a year to the day after Scathe first attacked the city. Rather than a traditional masked ball, which would be nigh on impossible at Anvil, the Machieri is working on plans for a Feast of Fools styled carnival, in which everyone is encouraged to take a new identity through the wearing of masks. Those taking part will don masks to take on a completely new identity. It could be something that reflects the ambition of who you want to become, or just an opportunity to reflect on those goals. Participants could adopt one of the dramaturgical personae, or they might be guising as another character, or guising as a more abstract concept. Those who do not or cannot wear masks are encouraged to take on the role of the Fool, and to act as storytellers and commentators and engage the audience and others in the stories the League are telling. Those who have donned masks will be encouraged to disguise the meaning of notes and gifts which are given to each other during the festival. The messages may have codes hidden in them, secret meanings, or other puzzles for the recipient. When guising as someone other than themselves, a leaguer may have the courage they otherwise would not have to declare an affection or rivalry, or deliver an unwelcome truth. For coin or reckoning, those who have taken on the role of fools may be happy to carry your message, provided they're well remunerated. The current plan appears to be to start the festivities approximately 5 p.m. on Saturday of the summer solstice, possibly with some dramatic entertainment. All the details are still being worked on, and while the Contessa has asked the new Machieri to take the lead in organising the festivals, the hope is that everyone will share their ideas with them and then come together to celebrate the League's triumph. If the masquerade is a success and enjoys popular support, then the hope is that it might become a more regular summer solstice tradition. The Schemers. There is an opportunity to secure magical schema for garments from around the world. The broker's office would be a folly, requiring 30 wains each of white granite, weirwood, and mithril, and would cost 180 crowns, with an upkeep of 5 thrones per season. The brokerage would allow the purchase of schema for mage robes, magical jewellery, and ritual foci from around the world. Merchant Prince Genea Bornei de Savos has long enjoyed a reputation as one of the wealthy doyens of Savos. Although she no longer attends Anvil, her carter is rich and prosperous, in part due to their possession of an improbably large number of unique magical schemas that allow their owner to learn how to create elegant magical robes and masks. Officially, the Bornais claim they came by their invaluable collection through trade, buying the schemas wherever the opportunity arose. Although there are numerous salacious rumours suggesting that some of their first schemas were acquired through the slightly less legal routes. Regardless of how they started out, the Bornais have amassed a fortune by establishing a network of brokers who seek out any opportunities to purchase rare schemas. These brokers can be found across the Empire, and far beyond it. According to Genea, she has brought schemas from Asavea, Jarm, and the Sarkophan Delves, and even one from the Commonwealth ones. Now that Genea is reaching retirement age, she is considering her legacy, and would like to use her wealth to support the city that made her rich. To that end, she is offering to put her established network of skilled brokers at the city's service. She proposes that the League commission a broker's office in Savos, perhaps in one of the new buildings being constructed on the dockfront at Carakamare. It would have to be Savos, since it needs access to the port facilities, but it could be anywhere in the city, really. The office is no small investment. It would require 2 seasons to construct and 30 wains of white granite, 30 wains of weirwood, and 30 wains of mithril, and 180 crowns to commission. Once complete, it would have an upkeep of 5 thrones a season. It would legally be a folly operated at least initially by representatives of House Bornay. Janaea's network are potentially able to locate and purchase schemers for new mage robes, magical jewelry, and ritual foci. They are not able to obtain schemers for any other kind of magical items. The easiest way to ensure things continue to run smoothly would be for the title holder to send a winged messenger to Janaea outlining what kind of schemer or schemers they might be interested in. Her network would then produce a short report for the best match for what the title holder was looking for by the start of the next summit. The report will describe the powers of the schemer they have been able to find for sale and what the best price would be. The title holder could then decide if they wanted to pay to buy the schemer. Janaea is at pains to stress that such things do not come cheap. A schemer requires at least 10 rings of ilium to make, and anyone trying to buy one can expect to pay significantly more than that for a completed schemer. They are a long-term investment and should be viewed as such. The advantage of her broker's office is that it would give the League a way to acquire new schemers without the expense of supporting an entire rune forge. Not that it would be cheap. The title would have to be a national appointment by the boss. Janaea Bornay is very clear on that point. Her loyalty is to her Carter, her city, and the League, and very definitely in that order. If she could limit the position to our Savosan, then she would, but the civil service are very clear with her that that is not constitutional. Having the boss appoint the position annually is the compromise that she is willing to accept to see her plan enacted. She is not shy about stating that she hopes whoever takes the title will ensure that the schemers and the knowledge they provide remains within the League. After all, the Empire can still benefit from the schemers just by buying the magical items the League makes, rather than making them themselves. The opportunity to commission the broker's office will remain available for a year. After that, Janaea Bornay will make other arrangements for her legacy. Further reading. Savos. Mayor of Carakamare. Masks. League hearth magic around masks. The Winds of Fashion. Winter 383, Year of the Empire Wind of Fortune, detailing the beginning of the transition to the City of Masks. The doom that came to Savos. Autumn 383, Year of the Empire Wind of Fortune, in which the doom is discussed.